Lightweight! Lightweight, baby!
Hey, this is Danny from Made of Metal, aka Britain's Strongest Drummer, and I'm here to talk about the first ever lightweight pro show, Clash of the 80s. On August the 20th, 2022, 14 of the best lightweight strongmen from around the world descended upon Denver, Colorado to compete in Clash of the 80s. In this video, we're going to break down the events and talk about some of the standout performances from the athletes that took part. So let's run through the list of names of the people that were competing on the day. We had the current under 80 world's strongest man, Richard Panganiban. I am sorry if I butchered that surname. Help me. We had Tommy Lavelle, former world's strongest man under 80 kilograms. Give that man a bag of sand and he will throw it into the stratosphere, guaranteed. Mason Cupp, who earned his place in the competition by going through the online qualifier. Ben Donan from France, although I imagine if he's from France, the surname is pronounced Donan. Aaron Talavera, who is the current under 90 kilogram block press world record holder. CJ Kraus, who, from what I was told, competes at all different weight classes, just depending on how he feels on any given day. Robert Hughes, who may be someone to look out for. There was Jason Teitelbaum, who was sporting a fetching kilt throughout most of the competition. We had Jeremy Schell, Ross Remillard and Benjamin Bennett. And rounding out the competitors representing Britain, we had Tim Daglish, current Stone World Record holder and England's strongest man. Rich Molnar, second in England's strongest man, who ruptured his ACL not 6 weeks ago. And Dan Ashcroft, making his return to competition after a year or so's absence due to injury. First event was the Max Axel Overhead Press. Barbell starting at 225 pounds, rising in 20 pound increments until there was one man standing. All of the athletes breezed through the first couple of rounds, and it wasn't until round 3 or so that would have been 240, 60, 85 pounds, that people started dropping off. I think Rich was having trouble with his knee on the push press, so I had to bow out a little bit earlier than I imagine he would have liked to. But it was a tremendous effort from everyone involved. A particularly magnificent effort from our joint world record axle press holders at a weight of 152.2 kilograms. Ben Donan, I'm going to keep saying Donan for the rest of the video, please correct me if I'm wrong, and Rich Panganiban. Again, let me know how to pronounce their surnames, guys, please.
Oh, wow. What an amazing lift by Benjamin Donan from France. Flew across the world to hit a new world record for the 80 kilos.
So as well as actually pressing a world record weight, they both did a couple of pretty tremendous things on the way to that world record breaking effort. Rich actually pressed, I think it was 305 pounds twice because he didn't quite get the down command on that first rep. So went down to the chest, did it again, which is pretty phenomenal. And Ben was using a split jerk technique, which is something that I try and do. And I think it was the attempt or two before the world record. He made a tremendous split jerk recovery. I wasn't sure he was going to get it, but managed to stabilize and recover it and get the rep. So awesome work, guys. Event 2 was a yoke into sandbag loading medley. It was a 600 pound yoke, run 50 feet, 2 250 pound bags, ran back and loaded into the back of a truck. Now this seems to be quite a tough event for most of the competitors. You hear all the time when you're watching competitions that are held in Denver that the altitude makes a huge difference, and I think that really came through on this event in particular. I've got to give a shout out to Rich Molnar, who managed to get through this event unscathed and actually won his heat after a fairly slow start on the yoke. I think he might have dropped it a couple of times, but made the time back up on the sandbag loading. So well done, Rich. Unfortunately, Tim Daglish didn't have such a great time on this event. Again, going back to that altitude thing, perhaps that was something that was affecting him, but he didn't quite manage to finish. I think just stopped just short of loading the second bag, which was a real shame to see. It was also a shame to see Tommy Lavelle drop a sandbag on his run. He was head-to-head with Rich Panganiban, and I wonder if maybe he, on the second bag, was trying to catch up and maybe went a bit too fast, dropped the bag and lost precious seconds. So it really was a grueling event. I'm only going to say it once this video. The third event was the car deadlift 4 reps, and reps it was. It was a rep fest from a lot of the guys involved. From what Anthony Furman was saying on commentary, they actually swapped the vehicles. I imagine the vehicles they tested earlier in the day, they probably felt were a bit too heavy, so switched to lighter vehicles, which resulted in people getting double-digit reps quite consistently. Anthony Furman also said on commentary he genuinely had no idea how heavy the cars were because he didn't do the math, but I feel like perhaps the cars were a bit on the lighter side. And I say that because Rich Molnar, perhaps in little surprise to those that know his deadlift acumen, blitzed the event on one knee, joint first place with 24 reps. It was awesome to see. I was having trouble keeping count, which from a viewer standpoint on the stream, it would have been helpful if there was a rep counter, just because it was head to head. So you could only really concentrate on one athlete and not the other. And the speed of the reps was just tremendous. Like, it was awesome to watch. But yeah, just a bit difficult to keep up with. Fourth event was the bag throw for max height, starting at 15 feet, rising 1 foot every round. And I want to give a special shout out to Jeremy Schell. I don't know if the guys that competed have actually watched the live stream, but at the 17-foot mark, Jeremy Schell missed 2 attempts on the sandbag. On commentary, Anthony Furman said he was done. Then Jeremy not straight over, but got the 3rd attempt over. So well done, Jeremy. You proved Anthony wrong, and he was very quick to to call himself out on what he said. So it was a good watch. I don't think this was a particularly great event for Rich Panganaban. He went out at 16 foot, and knowing what he can do on a sandbag series, watching him at OSG last year, I know he's a great sandbag thrower. Not sure what was happening on the day, but we'll get to the next event and Rich's condition going into that event a little bit later. For this event, Tommy Lavelle takes the win with 19 feet, nobody else getting close to that. Tommy waited until 18 feet for his first throw, and that throw that must have sailed a good few feet over the 18-foot mark anyway. Went round to 19 feet. He got the bag over for the win. Wanted to go for 20, but I think things were overrunning just a little bit, so unfortunately he wasn't allowed. No doubt he would have made it. The man is a bag throwing machine. So yeah, that was fun to watch, and what a showman as well. And as is tradition for most strongman competitions, the final event was a stone series, with stones starting at 225 pounds going up to 350 pounds. 5 platforms in descending height. Looked very similar to the Giants live setup, from what I could tell. And that first platform, quite a few guys had trouble loading that first stone onto. I don't think the stone was particularly heavy. I think the platform was just a bit high. Now, for us Brits watching this event, I can probably speak for most of us when I say our sphincters tightened when Rich Molnar stepped up to do this last event. As some of you will know, the ACL rupture that he suffered was at the hands of an Atlas stone at Britain's Strongest Man not so long ago. So Rich tried to one motion the first stone. I think it took him about 3 attempts. Managed to get the second stone. The third stone, I understand he felt his knee going and kind of thought better of it, which I think is a very wise decision. From what I saw him saying afterwards, his plan was to one motion as many stones as he could, just to save the pressure on the knee. But he managed to walk away from the competition unscathed, which I think we're all very thankful for, although he's already talking about breaking or trying to break the under 80 kilogram deadlift world record in, I think it was 4.5 weeks at the Arnold Sports Festival in the UK. So I'll be there for that, and I'll be wearing my Molnar shirt and yeah, cheering you on, buddy. Yeah, as I mentioned in the bag toss event, this was not great for Rich Panganaban. He loaded the first stone and then just seemed to completely cramp up, almost unable to move. It was upsetting to see. I'm sure it was upsetting for him. I think from what I've seen, he's okay. Hopefully it was just a cramp or something like that, nothing too serious. But unfortunately, I think that meant last place for him, which kind of knocked him off the podium after such a strong start as well. It's a shame to see, but he'll be at OSG in November, and I'm sure he'll be hungry. And to be honest, the stones seem to be a problem for quite a few of the guys. No one, bar one athlete, managed to load the final stone, the 350-pound stone, and that was Robert Hughes. Robert Hughes, who put in a consistent performance all throughout the competition, is the only man to have managed that last stone. So event win for him, and that helped him get placed on the podium, I think. So well done, Robert.
Robert with the load. First one to load every stone in the series, Robert Hughes. Wow. Great performance.
So let's talk about the podium for the first ever lightweight pro show, Clash of the 80s. In third place, we have the Giant Slayer, CJ Kraus. Second place, Robert Hughes, the Stone King. And in first place, world record axle overhead holder, Ben Donin. So as a viewer, I loved watching this competition. A special shout out goes to Anthony Furman, who was on solo commentary duty and did a tremendous job. He was informed, he was informative, he seemed to have little tidbits about every single athlete, which really helped fill in the blanks for someone like me who maybe didn't know everyone that was competing. Excellent job, Anthony. Awesome stream. You can catch up with it on ADL Pro Live. If you search Clash of the 80s, I'd say it's well worth catching up on. It really was an awesome competition, and yeah, look forward to many more. These Clash competitions are always fun to watch. So that's going to do it for my roundup of Clash of the 80s from Denver, Colorado. If you were watching it, let me know what you thought. If you are Ben Donin or Rich Panganavan, please get in touch. Let me know how to pronounce your surname so in future videos I do you guys justice. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share it around. I'm hoping to do more videos, more reviews of competitions, and just hopefully growing the channel over the coming months. If there's any video content that you might want to see that you think might be interesting, drop a comment below and I'll see what I can do. I'm still learning with all this stuff, so you know, it's only going to get better. So I'll see you next time. Bye. Whatever. I want a coffee.